So I've already drawn out the mouse onto 300-pound hot pressed watercolour paper. I'm now giving it a coat of acrylic medium just to seal the paper, and while it's wet I'll give it a coat of transparent orange or yellow just to give it an imprimatura or a stained ground to paint into. Dry that off with a hairdryer, and then I'm just going to apply loosely some paint using an old paper towel or a kitchen roll basically, and just start roughly and loosely and very abstract like putting in some of these areas. And the colours I'm going to be using are titanium white, Payne's grey, burnt sienna, yellow ochre, raw umber, vermilion, cadmium orange and a transparent yellow orange. It doesn't matter which one, it can be either or both. So I'll keep using this paper towel method. I'll just paint some with the brush onto the paper, and then I'll use the paper towel to move that paint around while it's wet. And if it isn't wet, then just give the whole painting a little light spray of water, a mist spray, just to keep the paint wet so that it can be moved around. And as you can see, you can blend quite nicely with it as well, like this, just using this paper towel method. And it's a very good way and a very quick way of putting in an abstract background, because I do want this background to be nice and abstract and just basically allow the detail of the animal to be the most outstanding feature. Okay, I'm using the brush now just to put in the basic colours of the mouse. So this orange, it's a cadmium orange with a little bit of burnt sienna added to it. I'm going to put some highlights in there very loosely at the moment, just to show me where those highlights are on the animal, so that I can put them in with a little bit more detail later on. So I'll just put one or two of these colours elsewhere, add a little bit of yellow ochre into the white so that it isn't bright. It isn't white, you know, it's got that little tint to it. Okay, this painting is basically going to be abstract background and impressionist painting of the mouse and a little bit of detail in the mouse here and there. So I'm just putting some darks in now with a little bit of Payne's grey added into burnt sienna, and a little bit of red as well in there, some vermilion, just to keep the warmth. And then using a bit of Payne's grey and white, I can put in some of these shadow areas. You can add a little bit of raw umber into that as well, just to make it a little bit warmer. So basically building up the animal bit by bit. And this is the first time in a long time that I've actually painted an acrylic painting on watercolour paper. And this is a Meeden watercolour hot pressed pad, or it's 300 pounds, so it's quite thick. And because Meeden actually sent me this pad to try out for them, I'm not getting paid to do this video, but I said I would give an honest review of it, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. It's different to painting on a canvas. I think you can paint a lot more detail on something like this if you're interested in painting detail. But it basically performs very well. I'm not a watercolour expert, although I have painted a lot of watercolours in my time. But it seems fine to me. And it's extremely reasonably priced. Now, I've left links in the description below if you're interested in any of the tools, materials or equipment that I use. And if you do use those links, then you'll be helping to support me and my channel, and it helps me to keep bringing you these videos. Also in the Meeden link, I've included a 12% offer or discount voucher. So if you copy and paste that into your order, if you go onto the Meeden site through my links, then you'll get 12% off as well. So being reasonably cheap to start with, you should get an absolute bargain. And it's very useful if you want to do, I mean, this is quite a finished, detailed sort of a painting, but it's great for doing loose studies and even watercolour painting, obviously. And they do, obviously, different versions. They do the rough and the knot, but this is the hot pressed, which is the very smooth paper. So you can do lots and lots of detail on this if that is your inclination and your style. It's not mine anymore. I like to do abstract and impressionist with a couple of little details here and there, which is what this painting is all about. Okay, I'm using my splayed bristle brush here that I like so much. I do use this in more or less every painting. Everybody has favourite brushes, and I've got about 3 or 4, and this is one of them. I love the way I can splay the bristles on this and create a fine fur-like texture, like that. It creates lots of little fur-like marks in one go, basically. Makes painting fur a lot easier. I'm just going to add a few different colours into that, so a few yellows and orangey yellows. And also the same into the background to create a colour harmony. So whatever colours I use in the animal, I will also add into the background. Now that background done with a paper towel has a very abstract look to it, but that enables the viewer then to make that background into whatever they want. It's in their mind's eye, it can be anything, and everybody will see it differently. So they basically help to interpret the painting themselves. And that's what abstract art is about. Your own interpretation, as well as the artist's interpretation. Each viewer has their own as well. I'm just going to put some warmer reddy oranges in there, using a bit of the vermilion and cadmium orange. And it warms up that part of the mouse now that looks like the warm sunlight is hitting it, which is the effect I'm trying to get. Now I'm going to put a little bit more into the tail here, the highlight on the tail, and then a mid-tone in between that and the shadow. And I'm also going to put in a little bit of a foot there, and it'll also have, I'm going to put a hand in as well, but it will be really quite loose and quite impressionistic. So I'll just put a few highlights on that foot there, and then I'll just get in a darker colour. I'll put in a shadow area of that foot there where it just joins the body, and also underneath the foot and the tail to show the tail is round and resting on the ground. Now I'm going to put a Payne's grey and white there just to show a shadow area. It probably needs to go a little bit darker there, but as the tail enters towards the mouse, part of it is in shadow, and then part of it will be nice and bright as the sunlight hits part of the tail. It all adds and creates that realistic effect. Putting some bluey greys now into the coat of the mouse as well, just here and there, creates the effect of a little bit of light hitting some of the shadow areas. And each time I'm doing this, I'm building it up in layers, adding layer upon layer upon layer. And it all builds up, and this is how you build an acrylic painting up, especially when you're using a smooth surface like this. So I'll just put a little impression of a hand in there, and a little bit more of the foot, and I'm going to put some colour in the tail as well. Same colours as in the hand and the foot, and then just put a few little highlights on the edge of that hand, and it suddenly comes to life. Just a couple of little dots of light on that, and I'll do the same with the eye as well, and in the lower eyelid there, just put a little highlight, and then the eye comes to life. Don't be afraid to use your fingers when you're using acrylics, and blend with them. Move the paint around with your fingers. If you have to, you can apply a barrier cream. I don't. I just wash my hands at the end of the session, and I'm fine. I've been doing this for decades, and I'm perfectly healthy. Just don't get paint into open wounds, cuts, or eat your paint, ingest it. Don't do that, because there are elements, heavy metals in things like the cadmiums. You do not want to eat those. So please do not do that. Okay, I'm going to put some more oranges now, but as a splatter. All the different colours I've used for the mouse, I'm now going to apply to the background. Not everywhere, just here and there. Just to use the splatter technique, where I'm going to be putting what I consider to be foliage without painting foliage. So I use my finger to move that paint around, like that. And now using the dagger brush, I can put in little impressions of foliage, little stalks and impressions of leaves. It's painting foliage without painting foliage. Painting leaves without painting leaves. And that's impressionism. So I'll just put a few little highlights on those, just here and there, to create the effect of light just hitting some of that foliage. But I haven't gone overboard in trying to make it look like real foliage. I'm just giving the impression. The same with this foreground. A few little dots of light here and there will give an impression of a foreground. Little mist spray of water now, and using a fine line brush, a rigger or a liner brush, I can put in these very fine whiskers, which you'll find a lot easier if you do this on a damp canvas. And the paint has to be quite wet as well that you're applying, but it draws the paint off the brush onto the paper or canvas. It has to be sufficiently damp to do that. A few more of those, and perhaps a few highlights on the foot, the tail. Again, building up the highlights as each layer dries, going over the top of each light area to make it lighter, because it will dry slightly darker and more dull. So you have to do it several times. Using some glazing medium, I will now put a yellowy orange to make that area of light on the animal glow. It comes to life. And I will also do the same with Payne's grey and glazing medium to darken some areas. And when that's all done, well, that's the painting finished. Hopefully I will see you on my next painting video. So until then, have a lovely day and happy painting!